Hey, welcome to the Bardstone Kickstarter update. We are a week into the trade for Poe Macabre.
That's right. Our
So,
spooky Kickstarter update. Whoa.
yeah.
I love the
So,
music to that trailer.
what's funny is when he did the video, because I didn't do the video on this one, Kevin took it from the previous video. Mine was 2 minutes long. He shortened it so it made the music even eerier by condensing it, basically.
Yeah.
So it's kind of interesting how it came out. It looks pretty cool, and then shows off some of the stuff we got going on here. So, well, let's give you an update on where we're at right now. 1816. We are getting ever so close to being funded at $2,000.
Yep.
So 100 and what? $84. $84. So
Yep.
we got 13 days. We got 30 backers. We have a couple different cool rewards and stuff like that going on with that. So.
And it was just Kevin's birthday. So if you want to wish him a happy birthday here, a little purchase of a Poe book might be a nice way to do so.
Yeah.
Kevin would normally be with us here, but he's on the road for his day job, so to speak. So he's working away on that. He may or may not be able to pop in while he's on the road, but
yeah, I sent him the link in case he can, but we know that he's kind of busy with the day job, and that happens. So we'll, as a Bardstone project, someone from Bardstone will be on here, and we're all involved in this project in one way or another. Scott's done a couple covers. I've done a story. And we've all been helping to promote this. So it's a great thing that you're not just supporting one, you're supporting all when you get a Bardstone project. We all try to help each other out in this.
Yeah.
So.
And you're supporting independent comics. It's, the big comic companies, they have an impact when it comes to movies and everything. But really, let's be honest. If you go to any comic book store right now, 9 out of every 10 Marvel books, they're crap. They really are. Same with DC. Their purpose, the real talent really is independent comics right now. Even the real talented big name artists are going independent. It's been the path. They found out they can make way more money doing their own projects than sticking with the big companies. So independent comics are filled with, not all obviously, but the majority of them, when you go through Kickstarter, it's quality. They're passion filled projects by their creators, in this case Poe, Crimson Shadows, Wretched Realms, those kind, Brett's Boomtown Scabs. Those are passion projects. We pour our heart and soul into these things and put out a quality product.
Yep. And for as little as $17, you can get a copy of Poe Macabre Volume 1 to get a trade. There's a couple options in the $17 range, so you can get the full trade. That's cheaper than what you're going to be able to get them at the shows when you start seeing us live with them at the shows in the next few months after the Kickstarter is fulfilled.
If you're not familiar with what a trade is, a trade takes the issues 1 through 3 that he's already published as independent comics and puts them together as one complete book. Plus, he has a bonus story in it. So you get all the existing content for Poe all in this one book.
Now, I was looking to see if I had anything around me right here where I'm sitting at, trade-wise.
I don't have one in the.
I'm sure I probably got something. I got books everywhere because I've got a lot of my reference books I use when I'm working on stuff here.
It's kind of like a graphic novel in that
it's the same thing,
but it's a collection of the individual issues versus a standalone story. Yeah,
technically a graphic novel is one story that has been just put together as meant to be itself. The terms have been interchanged a lot by people because people are not understanding completely what it is.
Right.
So a trade or reference, it's a collection of a story. A lot of times it's an entire arc of a story. Even if it's they're put out as graphic novels themselves, it could be like a part 1 or part 2.
Another phrase might be omnibus. I think those tend to be much thicker though.
Yeah, omnibus. I would say an omnibus is more of a bigger collection. I mean, they're always a lot thicker. It's like they put out some omnibuses of Walking Dead, and they collect like 25 issues. That's an omnibus. I personally don't care for those as much because they're harder to read through. Because
they're so thick.
They're so thick that you end up breaking them half the time with the spines.
That's what she said.
Yeah. So on many occasions. But
I crack me up.
Yeah, you do.
Someone's got to laugh at my jokes. Might as well be me.
I know. So, let's see what I got here. Here we go.
But, I one here. So, if you're wondering how to get over to
this is a trade.
Oh, there you go.
It's a collection of Firefly.
Here,
I had some stuff up here.
let's put you full screen here. So.
Yeah, this is a trade. So this is collects several issues in the Firehawk. This is actually number 2 in that trade series. It's Legacy Edition, they call it, and it collected a bunch of the issues that are in here. So they kind of go together, but at the same time they're not one solid story. It is an ongoing story. So there's definitely an arc in here. Most of these were one-shot comics, actually, or like a thing on there. And then I also have. This came out. This is in hardcover. Skyward. Jeremy Dale, who unfortunately passed away several years ago, his widow put together this collection of all the existing comics that were available through Skyward. A fun read, just a great story. He even named the dog Kirby in there. So Jeremy, I happen to know personally before he passed. I saw him at shows. And him and his then wife Kelly were great. I'm still friends with Kelly. I see her on Facebook all the time, and once in a while she's popped into a show. But this is an omnibus because it collects like 10 issues.
Right.
So that's part of the difference between an omnibus and the trade. It's, the thickness on it is very similar, but I think it's also the paper they used in the omnibus so it didn't get too out of hand. But it's still a good quality paper, good printing quality, stuff like that. And hear that hardcover? We have hardcovers of Poe. Part of this Kickstarter too. That's something to keep in mind too. Is I love hardcovers for collections when you want to keep them on the shelf. It's in a nice, and because it's not too thick. See, it opens easily. You can actually read it, put it back on the shelf. It's not going to damage the spine. Where the bigger omnibuses are like this thick, and every single one I see, you really can't read.
Right.
So that's something to keep in mind with that too. And then
regarding the Poe trade here, maybe
what
is it, about 100 pages, 110 pages, something like that?
Something like that, yeah. I know it's at least 100. I think it's no more than 110.
Yeah.
And it includes a story that was not released in the individual issues. So if you have the issues, there's a story in here that you're not going to be able to get outside of the trade. So it is a bonus for supporting the trade. As an independent publishers, we have to include things in the trades to keep them going because we're not reprinting the individual issues. And I've been stressing that it shows that once they're gone, they're gone.
Yeah.
So they will be the collectible portion of the Bardstone. So something.
And our Poe series, the individual issues are running extremely low, especially issue 2. People really like the poems that are in issue 2. So
it's because I was in that one.
Yeah, that's right.
But I'll tell you this though, I have when I'm at the shows, I have a couple of or metal covers. I think of issue 3, and I have a couple other covers of issue 2. I had a couple others that Kevin gave me. I gave back to him this past weekend just because he was almost out, and I'm like, well, I'd rather have him have them because it's he's the brainchild behind this. He's the one that's kind of spearheading all this. And then once eventually I'll buy a bunch of trays to sell at the shows when I'm not near either Scott or Kevin. But it's definitely it's collectible, and I always joke about our comics being worth tens of dollars. I think someday they could be definitely worth some money because of the fact that these are high quality products. And I've seen other people take Poe and do different things with them, but not like this. Most time they're trying to reimagine it as a completely different story, or say, well, this is a Poe-esque or something like that. Where Kevin's saying it's true to the actual text as possible, his visuals and some things he's done within that has allowed it to become a little more modern update with that part, or how he perceived certain stories, like with the narrators within the stories, who was narrating. And some people say, I never thought of it that way, but then you read it from his perspective, you see where he's coming from, and it works. So,
and what he does though, is he does it from the standpoint of he's a true fan.
Yes.
And he's very careful not to, while he's putting his spin on it, he's not violating the words that are on the page. So where there's areas where Poe has left a gray area, or he doesn't specify whose point of view the story is from, that's where Kevin puts his spin on it and lets the reader see that same poem, but from a different angle. But he's doing it without violating what the words are on the page. So he doesn't change the meaning at all. And that's one of the things I've really enjoyed about how Kevin has been handling this, because it's like, for me, I'm a major Star Wars fan, and it's always like exciting to me when an artist does something that expands but doesn't change. So it's almost like, oh, I know what scene that is, but here's what's happening if you turn the camera just slightly more that way. And it expands, and that's kind of what Kevin's doing with this whole series. That's been really fun.
I think a true testament's been the amount of teachers that have come and gotten the books and then contacted Kevin. Like, he talks about this all the time, that they contact him and say, hey, I show this to my students. This is perfect. This is exactly what I want to be able to teach them. And he's even doing a Zoom class here in a couple of weeks he was mentioning to me about. And, he can do digital copies for a lot of those people that are available. So the teachers can purchase those or different things like that. But it's definitely the teachers come to him saying, this is exactly a great way to teach Poe, instead of just reading the stories. Because a lot of students are so visual anymore that they can see the visuals along with the words and understand it more. And then when they go back and read the actual story, they kind of have that visualization going on now. So I think that's a true testament of what he's been trying to do with the series. And I'm just glad we get to be a part of it.
Yeah, I agree. It's been a lot of fun. And it's really rewarding just seeing so many people. And it's the younger crowd too. I'm amazed how many young people, because honestly, and maybe it was different for you, but growing up, like elementary school and junior high, no one I knew cared about Edgar Allan Poe. I know I didn't, and nobody I knew did. But now I see all these young kids, and it's really nice to see.
I think you're being taught it more.
It.
I know when I was in school, it was kind of glossed over. I remember reading like Telltale Heart. So like it would be part of
it was very glossed over.
We had like 6 weeks marking periods. I remember in school, and it'd be like part of the 6 weeks, be like, okay, we're going to cover certain things. And like 1 week be like maybe a Poe story or this, that. And then, so it's kind of glossed over, where now it seems a lot more teachers are actually teaching more of the Poe because of the fact that his writing, his imagination, his, the creativity that came behind everything really is a way to inspire some of these kids. And they're all getting into it. Plus, we're seeing it in other aspects with the kids having more access to media than we did as we were younger, through just their phones. That stuff's coming up more and more, and they can see different aspects of Poe and a lot of other things, even within anime. They use that within anime at times.
Right.
So definitely a lot out there on that. So a lot of cool stuff. So, but should we cover some of the rewards and things like that?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay. So I mentioned before about the pledges and that, and there's all kinds of different cool pledges here. But definitely the $17 one is you can get Scott's cover and soft cover, or you can get the Kevin's standard cover also as well. Scott, yours is going to be limited, I believe, just to the Kickstarter. So. There may be some available after the Kickstarter, but don't plan on it if you're going to wait. But it will be signed. Scott's going to sign those in a book plate. We have book plates that are really cool. So
yeah, for those who aren't familiar, book plate is a really neat thing I wasn't really aware of till more recently. This was Kevin's idea for us to do because we live very far apart. So it's hard for us to get all of us together to sign these books. And a book plate is a way where we can pre-sign these made up signature spots that then get inserted into the book or stuck on the book, depending on the method. But it's a nice way to get everybody. So when we are together, like at Motor City Comic-Con in a few weeks, we'll be able to do a massive signing session and then disperse to each of us so we can make sure all of our signatures appear. So I thought really like that as an idea.
Yeah, and that's what we're talking about. We're just going to sign them all there. Kevin's going to take them back. He'll insert them into the book so that when he gets them, because he'll be shipping everything out. But this way, you've got an actual signed book. Because we did a group getting together, but it's tough for us all to plan to get together for a weekend, just because of work schedules and things like that. But this is a great way for us to include that as part of the reward. So for $17, you get a signed trade. And it's an exclusive, book plate put in there. And basically, a book plate is an adhesive sticker, but it's a really cool looking one. I don't have a graphic for it. I know. Let me show you here. Where did I put it? There it is. In the Skyward one I was showing off a minute ago. Here, let me switch my page here. Go ahead and bring me full for a second here. This is a book plate. So
there you go.
Yep, and it says, and she put it as this book belongs to Brett because, of course, Jeremy's not around. But yours will be signed by Scott or Kevin, or even me, and
or all three.
Since I did work on part of the story there, so as you all know, I'm happy to sign anything because I do have a very big ego, but I'm very humble about it. So don't worry.
One time I had a funny story.
Yeah.
One time this was actually a sketchbook. Someone was doing a Batman sketchbook, and it was all artists who worked on Batman for DC Comics. And they came to my table and they're like, "Hey, will you do the sketchbook?" I go, "Yeah, sure." So I look at it, and he's talking about it and how it's all he's so happy to have this book filled with all the official artists for the series. I'm like, "Well, I've never worked on it." He goes, "Oh yeah, you have." I'm like, "No, I haven't." So I'm arguing with him how I've never worked on Batman for DC, and he insisted I did. So finally, like, fine. So he paid me to draw in the sketchbook, and I signed it. He insisted I did it, so I'm like, fine. I'm done arguing. Just pay me.
Yeah.
That was
That's
years
funny.
ago.
See, my
So-
favorite one was a guy was near me at a show years ago. I said, "Will you sign my shirt?" I said, "How do you want to sign?" He goes, "Put something funny." So I signed like I was from League of Their Own. I put "Avoid the Clap," Jimmy Dugan.
There you go.
He gave it back to me. He laughed. I said, "That's good advice." So here's the covers for the Poe that's coming flashing back and forth there for the soft cover. I'm gonna go up here for the hard covers options. Now you have for $35 or more, you can get the Scott's cover in hardcover, which is really cool. Definitely limited to the Kickstarter. And then the oh no, sorry, his is the standard. That's gonna be the standard hardcover going forward. But they will always be limited. We're not gonna always have those available because hardcovers are a little heavier, but we love them. And then
and
here's
more
the
expensive.
yep, and definitely more expensive. And then $40 for the Kickstarter exclusive Lee cover. That one is does he even have his name on here? I know he's got it somewhere on here. Yeah. Go up here for a minute. Here we go. Here's the Lee, Andy Lee, and he's a pinup and cover artist that Kevin knows. So those are pretty cool with the hard covers. And you got some page examples here. Within those hard covers there, you have here it is. For $40, you get the Kickstarter exclusive Lee, but then for $45, signed by 3. So this is one of the things that will be signed by Kevin, Scott, and myself. And then of course your name's featured in the thank you page. So this is a neat little add-on to have all of us sign it, because we're not signing every single one. Certain ones only be signed by Kevin, certain ones by Scott, and then these few by all of us. And then of course for the Kickstarter exclusive, it's $50. So it's only $5 more to get me to sign your book. And then Poe Volume 1 and Crimson Shadows 1 through 3, we have 4 left of those. We're running low on Crimson Shadows books. So if you miss out on the Crimson Shadows, you want to get those issues. You can get issues 1 through 3. They're Kickstarter covers done by Kevin, and then you get the Kevin Miner soft covers. So that's a great for $50. That's a lot of comic right there. That's 6 issues, so that's even cheaper than buying them at the shows. And then we have the standard hardcover artist proof, and there's only 3 left of those. Those were the ones that Kevin ordered just to make sure everything turned out just fine on that. So I haven't had a chance to see him. I know he's got them in hand. We just had time to look over those. And then he has the Kickstarter hardcover sketch plus signed by all 3 of us. That's $60. So over $10 more, 10 or $15 more, you can get a sketch. I mean, that's right there is worth $20 by itself. The sketch is just a basic sketch. Then there's the Kickstarter exclusive artist proof. And that one is the hardcover. It's on the Andy Lee hardcover. That, of course, is limited to only 4. And there's only 1 left of those. So 3 people have already taken that. So that's a $60 deal there, or a $75 deal with the Poe sketch cover plus the Kevin Miner soft cover. So you can get yourself a great Poe sketch. And in fact, he could even kill you on there as a Poe character. So there is 5 of those left. Then there's original art available, original page from Art Collection. He will be handling that and let you know what you can get of that. But they're 9x12 in size, used to create one of the many stories. I think he's going to have something where he'll contact you, say this is what's available, and go in order of who did those. And there's 5 of those left. And then we start getting the higher dollar, $110. You get the original art plus the hardcover sketch and signed by all 3 of us. And then there's a $115 where you get the exclusive hardcover on that one there. And retailer packages. So if you got retailers following us here, for $125, you can get 2 Kickstarter exclusive Lee hardcovers signed, 5 times the Kevin Miner softcover signed, lots of swag, which he's going to throw a bunch of cool stuff in there, and then 7 of the 5x7 Poe Raven prints. So that's a pretty good deal for the stores. 2 of those available.
Yeah.
If you're a fanatic, he's got a bunch of stuff. You get basically get the exclusive hardcover, sketched and signed by all 3 of us, the Kevin Miner soft cover, Poe issues 1 through 3 Kickstarter exclusive cover. So you get the actual issues to put away because you can read the trade now. And then you get a Poe issue 3 metal cover signed by Kevin, a Poe and Emil 5-pin set, numbered to 25. There's only 2 of these available for the whole thing here. And then a red metal trading card. Red is the character here. Original art from the collection, a set of 6 4x6 mini prints, a set of 3 4x6 metal prints, and then the Poe metal bookmark. That's a killer deal for $235. You're getting a lot of great stuff there. The artwork alone is worth, in my opinion, is going to be worth more than that. So, and then of course there's the ultimate 450. If somebody's going to get brave and do that, we've got one of those left, and you get tons of just all kinds of stuff. I'm not going to read all that. So, but here's what's gone: the early bird stuff's gone. So if you miss out on the first 48 hours, then you just have to go with the regular stuff here. Yeah. But a lot of cool stuff on this.
I want to spotlight real quick too, if you don't mind. I'm going to pop my screen up.
Yep, go for it.
This is also the Kickstarter page. Kevin just got back some slabbed graded comics from the Poe series. So issue number 1, his Ultra edition. This was a very small run of only 25. This is number 7 of 25. It's rated at a 9.8, which is really, really good. It's sealed. It'll say protected, and it holds its value. That's listed at $160. So if you're a hardcore collector and you like to get the slabbed ones, this is a good deal. And it's the 9.8s, they start getting rare when they're that high.
Yep.
And then also he has the 9.8 graded signed by Kevin.
Yep.
And it's the Poe Macabre Master Issue 1 Kickstarter edition.
Yep.
This one wasn't as limited as the Ultra, so he's got it at $130. But both of those, there's only one available of each. So if you like slabbed comics, this is your chance. Get on there, do it as an add-on.
Yes, and you can add on those if you've already done a pledge. You can go back in and adjust your pledge and add those on.
I'll put your screen back up so you got it back.
Yep, I got it back up on the screen on the thing there. So I was next thing I was going to show was that because it's, and then of course we probably should go over real quick what add-ons are. Add-ons are some really cool things. Instead of putting them as separate pledges, it allows you to customize your pledge a little bit and get some fun stuff here. And here we go. Here's the add-ons. So he's got 1.5-inch Poe buttons. He got stickers, so available on that. There's a cool Poe print, and then the purple head pin is available. And these are really cool. The pins are awesome. Great quality, high quality metal pins, and they're all colored as you see here. That's exactly pictures of them. Those aren't facsimiles. And then you got Poe. You've got red there. You've got the Nevermore Raven pin. You got the Telltale Heart, a skull, and then you got the black and white Poe. And then, of course, you can get the volume 1 as a digital copy for $8 more if you like to read digital, but you still want a physical copy. And if you did one type cover and you want to add more, you can add on the soft covers. So like if you got, let's say you wanted both soft covers, so you could say, okay, I'll do a pledge for Kevin's and add on Scott's, or Scott's and do Kevin's, whichever you want to do. It doesn't matter. And then there is the add-ons for the hard covers. So this way you can add on whatever you need, and then add-ons for the signed by the 3 artists. And then there's the Zambelli hardcover that's a good deal right there by itself, $30 as an add-on. So it's a great way to go. And then there is only 5 available at $15 each. The Poe Macabre Master Issue number 1. Again, these are so limited. We don't really have them at shows anymore. And same thing with the Kickstarter exclusive. There was only 3 available. Those are $20 each. And then for $35, you get the Crimson Shadows issues 1 through 3. Kevin's covers there. We have a few more of those available, but they're getting low. I'm already running low on issue 3 because it's a very limited run, because we're going to have a trade available this summer for that as a Kickstarter too. So, and then there's the slab comics there. So stretch goals. We got to get everybody up to $3,000. So we're still about $1,200 away. So everybody can get a double-sided cool looking bookmark. And then we'll worry about the rest of them there. And we need 100 backers so everybody can get a Scott's print. So a lot of cool, fun stuff available. We got 13 days to go on this. Had some good movement this week. We know everybody's just getting back from the holiday Easter week. Spring break for some was last week. Some has been over the last few weeks. So I know it's just a lot going on. But heck, support it. We got, trying to get this out to you guys, and we really want to have them at the shows. So
I agree.
Yep.
Good stuff.
Yeah. So anything else you got to chime in there, Scott?
No, I just, keep supporting us. We appreciate it. We got 30 awesome backers here. Mm-hmm. And, with the trade, here's the other nice thing too, because the individual issues are where a lot of times for collectors, that's where you like to save them they're a little more exclusive. Mm-hmm. they can go up in value a little better. So if you want to keep your individual issues nice and pristine, buy the trade and beat that one up. Read it, and obviously you can save it and keep it nice, but get the individual issues, pack them away, bag and board them so they stay nice, or get them slabbed, and then get the trade to beat up and read it, and pass around to your friends or whatever you want to do. And then you got both. You have an issue that you can enjoy and the issues that you can save for future value.
Right. It's a great way to go. I tell people that all the time. It's you could constantly read your comics, which is always fun to do. But if you're wanting to collect them and pristine them for generations to come, so you can see the original ones, definitely buy some trades to keep reading over and over, or just get digital copies too. You have a trade, digital copies, and individual issues. You have all three versions of them.
Yep, I agree. Though my preference is I like having the physical copy in my hand.
Well, I like the Stan Lee approach. It's like women's boobs. I'd rather touch them than look at them, and same thing with a comic book. I'd rather touch the comic book than look at it on a screen. So, but it's
no comment.
No comment. Okay. Hey, Stan Lee said that.
It is a quote.
It is a quote from Stan Lee, because it's about digital comics. Nothing against digital comics. I think digital comics are a great way to go. But just like movies, I do buy some stuff digitally. I prefer when things come out, I buy Blu-rays, and then I have them with the digital so I have both versions of it. So I have a digital and a physical copy, because someday the internet may crash and I can still watch my movies. Same thing with the comics. I could read my comics if I have to. So yeah. Hey, let's see if we can get up to $2,000 here over the next couple days and go from there. So please, if you've been thinking about it, go ahead and pledge. You can adjust your pledge later. We hope you don't. We hope you'll get exactly what you want from the onset. Yeah. But we've got 2 weeks. You're not going to be charged until the Kickstarter ends, which is on 2 weeks from yesterday at 7:30 p.m. So it's exactly 13 days from right now almost.
And remember, taxes were due this last Monday. So if you're expecting a tax return and you're wondering how you're going to pay for this, well, there you go.
Exactly.
Use your tax refund money.
Yep. So, and get some of the cool exclusives and get some of the pins and things like that. So definitely check that out. Thanks for supporting. I always appreciate it. So we're not going to bore you anymore. So we will see you all.
We posted the links. Go to bardstone.com if you don't remember how to find it, or go to Kickstarter. Just search Poe Macabre Master. You'll see it there. But those are the links that we posted in the post here.
Just put in Poe, it'll pop right up. And there's several different Poe ones, but this isn't the first one I've seen pop up, because it's the newest one still. So, all right. Hey, we'll see you all next Wednesday. Actually, we'll probably see you all on Tuesday for another update. Kevin should be back. And then we'll join us next Wednesday morning for Odd Musings. We'll again update you there, as well as some other fun stuff. So take care, everybody.
Take care.
Bye.